Hey everybody! So this week was the series premiere of Shadowhunters on the new channel Freeform, formerly known as ABC Family. This episode was very good. I have a couple of things that I had issues with. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar, this is an adaptation of the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare, and the first season is mostly based off of the first book, City of Bones. I do know they are going to be picking from City of Ashes, the second book, and possibly some of the other books in the season, just to surprise those of us that have read the books. Now, the first episode is called The Mortal Cup, and it starts off as kind of a flash forward 8 hours into the future. We are shown Clary and Jace meeting for the first time, and then it goes back to 8 hours in the past. After this, we see Clary going to the Brooklyn Academy of Art, showing some of her artwork, which includes demons and a lot of things that she didn't mean to present to them, but that's what they liked the most. She gets accepted. We see that it's her 18th birthday. Her mother gives her a stele and tells her it's kind of an heirloom without actually explaining that it can create runes and all of that stuff. So she just thinks it's like a little trinket. It's pretty funny. I'm gonna get back to Clary, but we're gonna talk now about Simon. I love who they have cast as Simon Lewis. Alberto is amazing. We first see him and Java Jones with Clary, and they're talking about how she got accepted into the Academy of Art. Another thing we see is the way his band is in the books. It's very different. It's just him and this girl, Maureen. They do keep some of the band names from the books, but it's a little different. It's something to get used to. And of course, Maureen is crushing on Simon while Simon is crushing on Clary. Round and round and round we go. And when Clary meets Jace, of course she starts to get eyes for Jace. Mostly what we see of Jace in this episode, we see him killing demons in Pandemonium after meeting Clary briefly, saving Clary from a Ravener demon after it has poisoned her, and he puts an Erazzi on her to heal her. When we first really see Isabel and Alec after the opening scene, we see them having a really cute interaction about this platinum blonde wig that she has picked to wear to the club to attract the demons. They're just really cute, and I love the interaction between them. And I think the actors do a great job at portraying that relationship on screen. So we see Isabel kicking ass in Pandemonium with Jace and Alec, while Clary just looks around flabbergasted. And we see a cute scene where she meets Clary after she wakes up from being injured. Alec in the episode is constantly going on about contacting the Clave and following the rules and everything that we always expect of Alec. Now, Magnus Bane, we don't see much of him in the episode. We just see him briefly in Pandemonium. He now, in the show, he owns Pandemonium. That wasn't the case in the books, but I kind of like this little change. We see him kick out a couple of members of the Circle, and it is magical and amazing, and I love it, and Harry Shum Jr. is awesome. I really love how much we were given of Jocelyn in this first episode, because we're really not going to see much of her this season, I don't think. We are shown a scene 10 years in the past where Jocelyn saves Clary from a demon and then proceeds to bring her to Magnus to remove her memories. Now, she does this constantly over the course of Clary's life up to her 18th birthday, to protect and keep her concealed from the shadow world. Something else we see that I actually really liked was the way that they did the portals. We are first shown the way the portals look when Jocelyn sends Clary to safety to Luke when some of the Circle members follow Clary back to her home. And we see a bunch of cool badass fighting of Jocelyn against the Circle, and she takes the potion, which is in the books as well, which just puts her in a coma per se. But nobody knows how to wake her up except for like one other person. Luke is a very different character in the show than he is in the books, whereas in the books he is a bookseller, in the show he is a detective. I like so far what we have been shown of him. He is still a werewolf like he is in the books, so that's all good. And everything else about his personality and stuff seems pretty much on point. And of course he is in love with Jocelyn as he is in the books and kind of hides it. When Jocelyn sends Clary to Luke for her protection, Clary ends up seeing Luke being interrogated by the Circle and saying that he doesn't care about Jocelyn or Clary and that it was all an act, which we all know that have read the books that this is untrue, but he is trying to protect Clary and Jocelyn. But Clary runs off anyway. Now, one character that I don't know if I really like how they changed is Dot, aka Madame Dorothea from the books. In the books, she is very different and nothing like this character. Okay, on to the big villain, aka Valentine Morgenstern. It's really interesting where they have placed him, and I love it. If y'all were paying very closely attention, it says he is in Chernobyl. What a great place for this crazy ass psycho to hide out, because nobody's really gonna think to look for him there. I wouldn't have. I was shocked to see him there, but also not so shocked. I really like the way they have humanized Valentine to where you can see bits of his humanity, but just glimpses. I love how he reacts when he has Jocelyn in his grasp, but she is asleep and he is very angry that she is not awake to where he can question her and hopefully sway her back to his side. All in all, this episode was really great. I had a few issues with certain things, but I think it's just gonna get better and better as the show progresses. As far as the best performance in this episode, for me, I was loving Simon. I am loving Simon in the show so far. He is one of my favorite characters in the books, and I was not disappointed at all with him. I hope y'all enjoyed this recap and review. Continue to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye, guys.